最好啦，你 set 咗先啦喺。
The 2011 Dr. Lincoln Alexander Award recipient is Sophie Dorier from Harvard School of Hospitality, Recreation and Tourism. Sophie? Senator, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On an occasion like this, I've been reminded by the highest authority, my mother and my wife, to keep the remark very, very short and don't say anything silly. So I put it in a little book. Our next award is from the Ontario Restaurant, Hotel, Motel Association, recognizing the best Asian restaurateur of the year. I'd like to present you Mr. Jason Jessica, the president of the Toronto region. Please.
Sorry, I'm never sure of the deal of he's pressed for time if he wants me to be in front of the microphone to speak or not. So it's with great honor, and I just had a conversation with Tony Lennis, the president of the region for the entire restaurant Hotel Motel Association, and he was telling me what a wonderful establishment this is, personally from his perspective. And on behalf of the UHA, we're very proud to announce that Thai. From Spring Rolls and the entire Spring Rolls team is the winner this year of the Ontario Restaurant Hotel Motel.
We're going to ask Jason to stay on stage because in addition to recognizing current Asian restaurant today, this year we are recognizing 4 legendary Chinese restaurants in Toronto. I'm not a historian, so I'm going to ask my good friend Valerie Ma to come up and tell us about this 4 legendary Chinese restaurants in Toronto. Valerie.
Senator Wallen, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to be here this evening with Jason. The first evidence of Chinese establishment in Toronto was on York Street, Queen and up Elizabeth to Dundas, and the first purported food establishments were supported by the actors and vaudeville performers from the theaters nearby, and it was not fashionable to go to the ward and the areas of the Chinese stores. The 4 restaurants which made the biggest impact in changing the total concept of eating Chinese food in this city were Guangzhou, located on the 2nd floor at the southwest corner of Elizabeth and Dundas, Lai Chi Gardens, midway down the block on the west side of Elizabeth, Nanking at Hagerman and Elizabeth, and Sai, first located on the south side and then moved to the north side. Tonight, Cambridge is proud to honor these 4 establishments. Starting alphabetically, I would like to call upon Arlene Chan, eldest daughter of Jean Lum, to come forward. It was reported that almost all of the aldermen from City Hall ate at Guangzhou, and some of us who are old enough would remember being greeted with hugs and kisses from Jean as she met everyone at the top of the stairs. Jean went on to become the first Chinese woman to win the Order of Canada, and her family continues to honor her through annual scholarships and a special bouquet. Thank you. My late husband used to rave about the food, the authentic Chinese soup and bao yu and hoi tong, and that's sea slugs and abalone, and how excellent it was. And I had to remind him that he was eating with Harry the boss, and we had nothing but the best. And there were 2 Harrys at Lychee, but unfortunately we don't have anyone here this evening, so we'll pass that and save that one. But moving on down the street, we meet another Harry Tang, who was the partner of Nanking Tavern. And Harry, would you come forward? Nanking is the first restaurant to have a beer and wine license, and then they were the first to have a liquor license in Toronto. Very popular spot. And last but not least, many of us took our families to Saiwu because they tolerated our young children, because they called everybody uncle and auntie. And some of us made sure we went after 7 o'clock because that was when Garfield came on duty. And he's here this evening along with Kathy and Norman, Bill's wife Mary, and their son Billy Wen Jr. And many of you have attended those wonderful Peking banquets that Bill Wen produced to raise funds for Monshon. And did you know that it was a trip to China that Bill introduced the concept after a trip of the Chinese banquets to this city by reproducing the foods from a banquet he had attended in China. And now that is a very way of life for our city. So we're asking Garfield Chen on behalf of the group, but you'll be able to meet the rest of them afterwards to come forward to accept this award. There are many wonderful stories from these 4 restaurants, and we are so happy to have representatives from or for them this evening. And I hope you will stay and share stories with them. Congratulations and thank you to these 4 restaurants for the impact they've made on our city.
Although Garfield is not old enough to be my uncle, I always call him Uncle Garfield. At this time, I think we should also recognize Mrs. Mary Sasser. And of course, Billy Jr. Billy was Kathy is one of the first Chinese chefs in a major restaurant, Kathy Chin. And can I call you Uncle Norman? Uncle Norman. Uncle Norman was the immediate past president of the Chan Family Association in Ontario. And I'm a man. Thank you. You help me with the next award because my Spanish is very, very poor. We have a Simón Bolívar Award, which recognizes the best Latin American wine and spirit. And for the first 6 years, we went twice to Argentina, twice to Chile, and twice to Mexico. Like World Cup of Soccer, if you win it 3 times, you get to keep it. So I'm happy to ask my good friend Ted Lang to come up because it goes to a different country. May I have the envelope, please? Ted Lang will help me with the pronunciation because he is also the recipient. Come on, Ted.
ICL Puro Colombia Aguardiente. Leo's asked if I can tell you a little bit about this product. ICL Puro Colombia Aguardiente is a relatively new spirit to the LCBO. It arrived in the last about year and a half. Aguardiente is a Colombian liqueur, but it's really the national drink of Colombia. It's consumed by Colombians all over the world. And as the root of the word, agua means it's water-based. It's a little bit lighter than, say, a product like Ouzo or Sambuca, which are a little more syrupy, but it has that anise or licorice flavor base to it. And it's enjoyed all day in Colombia, oftentimes with a beer chaser. We're very proud that the Spirit of Colombia, Puro Colombia, is this year's winner. Thank you very much.
Not only that my Spanish is bad, my English, my French and Italian is equally poor. But the country of France and Italy have a long tradition of rivalry, right? And for some reason, those two countries, they will not fight. They will have competition over almost everything from food, wine, fashion, and sports. And sometimes it gets very intense. For example, in the year 2008, the French president, Nicolas Sarkozy, decided to settle something that happened 2 years ago between France and Italy that he thinks is his presidential duty to rectify, in that Italy beat France in World Cup Soccer. And that's a very, very big deal. So the French president is a very patriotic and courageous man. So he believed it is his duty to take something from Italy, a national treasure. Unfortunately, the president is not a very good soccer player. So he married Carla Bruni, the supermodel from Italy. The Italians were very, very upset about this because it's the second time the French did that. First they took the Mona Lisa, never returned it, and now they took Carla. Many years later, today we have another very patriotic Italian Canadian who will have to settle the score. But we also have a French lady from Select Wine, Angelique. Where is she? Oh, okay. Please come up here. because it is something, it's a French national treasure that we will have to present to in Italian. Okay. That will pay for the home visa. Okay. So actually, please. The envelope, please.
The 2011 Remy Martin Award recipient is Palmacho Di Julio, Columbus Center.
By the way, my friend, Mr. Sarkozy and La Bruni yesterday had a baby, La Giulia. I will see.
Not only that we drink wine and have excellent food year-round, we also play golf. So I'm going to ask Jeremy Choi, the chairman of the Cambridge Cup, and also one of our sponsors, Sheridan Wong from Willow Spring Winery, to come up. We have our third Cambridge Cup Invitational Golf Tournament, and we have a trophy to be presented. Jeremy?
The Cambridge Cup, we are going to invite out Oliver, Alexander, David, and Joey. You guys know who you are, so come on up. This was the biggest one.
I forgot to mention our biggest sponsor of the tournament, which is Downtown Subaru, because they donated a Subaru. And for the next award, I can ask Carol Chan, who is the first recipient of this award, and also JP to come up, because it is the award that goes to the Cambridge College of Builders. Carol Chan and JP.
Elio Cinque, Nino Porciore, and Donald Tuan.
If you will stay on stage for one more, because we have to tell everybody who this great people are. Mr. Jinker is a long-time supporter of the Wine Society, and his company J.G. Valley have some wine here that we all want you to try. Chef Donald is not only a pastry chef, but he is the owner and chef of DT Bistro. He made dessert for the Prime Minister, for the Queen, and when William and Kate came in Ottawa, we sampled Donald's pastry. I take no credit, but Donald was one of our students. And Nino Cagioni is also a long-time supporter of the Cambridge Food and Wine Society, and he is a logistic person, he is a specialist in food safety, and we really appreciate your help from all three of you. Thank you very much. We are waiting for, because the last award is the Cambridge 2011 Lifetime Achievement Award for outstanding service and contribution to multiculturalism in Canada. And as last year's recipient is a tech coach, you have to come up to help me, and also to introduce our recipient, Ted.
Slightest idea what they asked to speak. I just flew up from Los Angeles late last night. But it gives me great pleasure to introduce someone who needs no introduction. Pamela, I first met Pamela when she interviewed me. She interviewed me a couple of occasions, and she was a wonderful interviewer. Worked in television, was a great television personality. And then she was then appointed the Consul General for Canada in New York. And of course I was working there on the Honorary Special Victims Unit for many years. And it was always a great pleasure to be asked to go to her dinners. She had a chef, and she had waiters, she had great wines, and she had great food, and she had great guests. I mean, she had, excuse me? She had the head of the United Nations, right there, head of Goldman Sachs, practically every major business figure. More important for me, the guy who owned and ran the New York Rangers. I got a lot of free tickets to the games. And so every major and New York life was there. She was an amazing consultant. She did more for business between Canada and the United States than anybody I know. And she was, when finally when the Conservatives won the election, and she was replaced by some guy. Didn't know his arse from his elbow. Pardon me saying so. But he was continually phoning Pam's. I'm meeting this guy. What do I say to him? What do I do? How do I manage this deal? She was continually almost for about a year afterwards. Is that true? She was being phoned by the new consul general as to how to do his job. But she's a wonderful candidate for this award. I hate to take the credit, but I suggested last year that we give it to Pamela. She's now a senator, and she's done amazing work. She's been in Afghanistan with the Canadian troops, so she's got a lot of guts as well. Anyway, I take great pleasure in introducing a great lady, Pamela.
We do serve the buffet. We have the restaurant downtown.
In my television life, when I was on television, I was 5'10". But something's happened subsequently, so I just couldn't quite see over the top, and I wanted to see all of your faces. So I'm just thrilled to bits to be here tonight. I want to start by thanking Ted for his remarks and for the recommendation. There is no sense having a wonderful dining table and a chef and great guests if you don't have somebody that you can brag about, which is one of your own, a great Canadian who has left his mark on the film and television business in a way that is quite astonishing. And now, every once in a while, as I'm sure you know about Ted, he knows where every great restaurant in every great city is. So if you want to have a nice meal, phone Ted regardless of what city he's in, and you'll go out and have that. So thank you for your kind words, and thank you for how proud you've made Canadians of you and your work. So thanks so much. I want, of course, to say thank you to the Cambridge Food and Wine Society for this honor. The recipient of the 2011 Cambridge Lifetime Achievement Award, and this at the age of 29. It's amazing. But I do feel that this is so important to talk about what's at the very core of our country. And when you look around at the faces here and what has made this great country great, is in fact that we have all come from somewhere else. And we have come here and built this country. Quite literally, my grandmother, so this is only 2 generations back, was a homesteader in the province of Saskatchewan where they literally had to scrabble a life out of bald prairie and snow. And it's just amazing to see what everybody's contributions have been. The people who come to this country, whenever they did, it seems that they cherish it in a way that is very important. They embrace the nation's values, and I think this is most important. So I'm proud to be amongst the other recipients. Ted, of course, former Lieutenant Governor and Member of Parliament, Ontario, was Lincoln Alexander. He was also, we have this other connection, and he was my predecessor as Chancellor at Guelph. He went on to become Chancellor Emeritus. I became Chancellor. Now I'm Chancellor Emeritus. And one of the wonderful connections here tonight is that we are affiliated with Humber College, and you see all of the incredible students here tonight in their work, and they will go on to be the next generation. So it's a very important list of people who are involved in this organization, and and its tentacles that reach so far. I have seen the award, and I know I'm going to see it again up close in a moment. This was designed by a famed Swedish designer. That appeals to my Swedish heritage, because that's on my father's side, and was made possible through the generous support of Canadian artist Ron So, who I had the pleasure to meet, the president and CEO of Creative Art Glass Inc. So I will appreciate that as well. Since 1988, as I understand it, the Cambridge Food and Wine Society, founded by Professor Chef Leo Chan and J.P. McLeany of George Brown and Humber College, the two gentlemen who've been out here, have provided scholarship funds to high school students and university and community college students. And I want to say thank you for that, because it's an amazing show of support for the next generation and for the Canadian hospitality industry, which is world class. So it's great to see the students here learning from the best and the brightest. All of these contributions that you make, the bursary to the Culinary Team Canada, who represented our country and went on to win gold in the World Culinary Olympics. In 2005, the Society donated funds in support of Second Harvest, the Toronto Hispanic American Film Festival, the Scarborough Hospital Foundation. I've gone through this list. 2006, donated funds in support of the Golden Horseshoe Culinary Team, who represented Ontario and won gold medals in Germany. The Society also provides 2 annual scholarships under the name of Andre Rousseau, the Memorial Awards, to students at the Humber School of Hospitality, Recreation, and Tourism. And of course, you support the annual Jean Lum Awards, which provide scholarships to secondary students in the GTA in recognition of their outstanding achievements in academics, athletics, arts, and community services. This is extraordinary citizenship on your part. I applaud you and I thank you for your ongoing contributions to community and to this country. You know, our families, wherever they are and wherever we began our journey, really help us set our moral compass. And our communities, that's where we practice what we're taught, what we learn, where we work out what our value system is and what it means. When you live in a small town, as I did, you have to learn to get along with everybody, because you're going to live alongside those same 1,500 people all your life. Your daughter may marry their son. So it means that you have to learn to accommodate. I think this is really important. It's a fundamental lesson about this country and its many communities across from sea to sea to sea. I think the other important thing that I discovered as a kid growing up, and of course you don't appreciate it till later, but when you break bread together, it's a very important event. The table is kind of truly the last gathering place where people come together without technology, without all of the distractions, where if you can put aside a few minutes in your busy schedule, you can sit down and talk and listen. A friend of Ted's and mine, Alan Alda, said the most important thing in any relationship is an ability to listen and actually hear what is being said by the other. And listening is the ability to be changed by the other. There are so few places where that happens anymore, and it really is around a table. With relationships, you can strengthen them, you can get to know people. And food is really the door through which we can walk to experience something new and different in a way that's easy and non-threatening and palatable. Our neighbor may not look like us or sound like us, but through their culture and through their food and through their traditions at the table, we can come to understand them and better appreciate them. You don't even need to share a language, as you well know, if the food is good enough. There's always ways we can express that. As I said, I come from a very small town in Saskatchewan, where food was a social experience. You gathered in the church basement or at the Legion Hall at wedding banquets, and everybody came from somewhere, Sweden or Ukraine or Germany. Our fall suppers in local halls would be worthy of international culinary tours. Still, everybody knew each other, and almost everybody kind of looked the same and enjoyed the same things, except for a young Caribbean nurse who had come, I think, on a bit of a dare who ran the local restaurants. What I learned as I grew up and traveled across the prairies is that this was how, in large measure, these small towns across the prairies developed. The Chinese immigrants who came and worked hard. The kids, very young kids, would sit there at the tills, but actually with an abacus, adding up the numbers. It was such a crucial part of our culture, and we didn't even realize it. I just thought everybody had 3 Chinese restaurants in their town of 1,500. And as it turned out, that was pretty much true all across Western Canada. And then tonight we met the ones who did this in downtown Toronto. So it's kind of fitting tonight as I listen and hear these stories that that's so much a part of my own experience. I think it was my first experience of multiculturalism, although of course we didn't call it that in those days. Then in my life as a journalist, of course, I've been around the world, and who would have imagined that in 1980 I'd be sitting in a banquet hall in Beijing where there hadn't really been a lot of Westerners before, eating some things that I had not tasted in the Chinese restaurant because I think they made things a little easier for our palates to take. But I've managed now to see the world from so many different vantage points. And what's so fascinating about that is not just the trip you take, it's when you come home. And each time you come back to Canada, you realize how much the country is changing, how many more faces there are that are different. In Toronto alone now, 63% of the people who live here were not born in this city or in this country. It's extraordinary. This is the most cosmopolitan, multicultural city on the continent. It's really quite incredible. And over the years, we've watched this country change. And I think we can say that we have succeeded. We've succeeded because the younger generation doesn't even use the word. They don't even think about it. Their friends are their friends, regardless of color or race or religion or country of origin. So it's a pretty important thing. And we know that people around the world continue to want to come here in great numbers because it has become a place that is so open and so welcoming to so many. I am just so grateful for this opportunity to celebrate with you and to feel this connection. I wasn't sure when I came here. I didn't know I was deserving, and I still don't feel I am, but I now feel I'm connected and that I understand a little bit of our shared history. So my thanks to all of those who organized this, Stephen Wong and Woody Zhang and Leo Chan and the Columbus Center. You have a wonderful venue here that you provide for people. It's a thrill and an honor to be with you tonight. And thank you for this extraordinary work.
The MHSO and the Cambridge Food and Wine Society are the two organizers of this event. We, the president, and also Laura from Multicultural History Society. And right after this, we're going to ask all the recipients to come up and take a group picture, and we will have a party. So Sophie, please get ready. And people from Springboro and the 3 legendary Chinese restaurants in the old Chinatown in Toronto. Carol my good pal. Ted Len from Colombia, in Venezuela. Our 3 College of Builders, Nino, Mr. Chinka, and Donald. If I miss anybody,